We're talking guns, models, magazines, and paints this week in the hobby news. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go ahead and start with the paints because I want to talk some more about the Army Painters Speedpaint line, which is coming out relatively soon. In fact, we've learned a few more details about the specific release dates for both the starter set as well as the mega set. Now, the starter set is coming first. It's going to be out in February 19th of this year, which I'm really hyped for. It's looking pretty good, and honestly, as a starter set with the colors that it comes with, because it comes with a red, an orange, a yellow, a green, blue, and purple, but also a brown, gray, and a flesh tone, I actually think that's a pretty good set to start with if you were either new to using this type of paint or just a complete beginner painter and you wanted a good collection of colors to try out from a single style. I think this is pretty good. It also comes with a free brush, which is always nice. Most of the Army Painter sets do. But I want to talk more about the Mega set because you guys, I have one. Army Painter sent it to me early and we're going to be testing this bad boy out this week. I'm really hyped. I've got a couple of different painting tutorials planned around this box, and I'm just, honestly, I've tested a few colors already because they sent me a few outside of this box, and I've played around with them a smidge. They're lovely. I think they're a really good consistency, and honestly, I do think they're going to be a great competitor to Citadel's contrast colors, and as somebody who has used a lot of Citadel's contrast colors, I really like them. I really like what I'm seeing from the speed paint so far, and I'm hoping to enjoy the other colors that I haven't got to test in these upcoming tutorials. So this set, the Mega set, is coming with 23 different paints. It's also coming with a speed paint medium, much like the contrast paint medium that you can buy as well. This is coming with its own medium to mix in to help smooth things out and everything. And it also comes with another brush because, like I said, that's what they're set to do. This set is coming out in March 26th of 2022. So it's coming a little bit later. So if you are interested in these, I would maybe say start with the starter set if you've never tried this style of paint before. I think those are some good colors to work with. But if you know that, nah, I just want these paints and you want to hold off for the Mega set, it's gonna be $100. It's coming out in March. I personally think it's gonna be a pretty good value, but I'll have a larger and more thorough review once I've used more of the paints.
Only one who has walked every path may command them.
Now let's talk about a miniature that maybe I'll end up using those speed paints on down the line because we've got a new Autarch miniature and he or she is looking glorious and has tons of options, which is pretty cool. You can equip it with 3 different heads. There's a, let's see, I believe it is a Howling Banshee helmet, as well as a normal helmet or a bear head. You also have a choice of either a male or female body on it, which I think is a cool option for that, as well as you can choose from a variety of different guns and weapons and all sorts of things to choose to put on this model, because you can equip a Warp Spider jump pack, which honestly, that model that they're showing in the preview looks really sick. It's so cool looking. Plus you could add a Scorpion Chainsword if you prefer that, maybe a Reaper launcher, a Dragon Fusion gun perhaps. There's lots and lots of options, and even the article that was talking about this called out being able to mix and match this particular kit with the old Autarch set, which I thought was kind of odd, honestly, because I feel like they call out backwards compatibility with their other sets very often. So it struck me as really weird, but it's also very exciting because I mean, kit bashing is always fun, right? You can always do what you want, and this particular model is very, very friendly to that. We're now gonna talk about a big ass Tau gun because holy cow, I thought what we saw previously was big, but this gun, the new Pulse Blastcannon, is just insane, and I could just say goodbye to your knights, to your tanks, to your big monsters, and to your Terminators. Just say goodbye to everything because the Storm Surge has a mega gun. Let's talk about the Pulse Blastcannon. It has two different profiles. You can either do a focus shot, which is a heavy 2, strength 16, AP -4, with a damage 12. Which is insane. It's just massive. Just goodbye tanks. Just goodbye knights, goodbye tanks, goodbye monsters. It's just all gone. And then you could also do a disperse shot, which is a heavy 6, so pretty brutal still, strength 12, -2 AP, so not quite as bad. Still does D4 damage though, which is terrible news for me because I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, even with my Nurgles, like my Death Guard's damage reduction, that's still in a single hit, or wound I guess, going to just take one of my Terminators off the board, and I don't like that. That's not cool. I mean, it is glorious though. I am really glad to see the Tau getting some major shooting buffs and having some big guns come out because they are the shootiest of the armies, and frankly, I'm kind of excited and a little bit interested in running Tau. I really want to see more from this book. It's that time of the video where I interrupt to tell you about my Patreon and to let you know that we just added a Discord server which all tiers get access to. So if you're wanting a way to chat with me, share with me your projects, or just tell me what board games you're playing, definitely make sure to check the link below and check out my Patreon. We got a couple of articles this week on the Warhammer community site talking a little bit more about the Season 1 for Warhammer 40k. Warzone Nachmund, Vigilus Alone has a lot of stuff coming in it, but some of the details have now been revealed, and the Adeptus Sororitas are actually getting a supplement in this book. If you're a fan of the Order of the Bloody Rose, this might be a good one for you to pick up because they're getting new stratagems, warlord traits, and relics, which is all looking pretty cool. It's designed really to make them a bit more competitive, I believe, which is always a fantastic thing. Plus, because somebody else got an update, that means the Space Marines also had to get an update. It's the Emperor's Law. I don't make it, I just enforce it. Now, we're talking Space Marines, and they are getting a new army of renown called the Vanguard Spearhead. So if you are a fan of fast, sneaky boys like those guys in Phobos armor, as well as you really, really wanted to have objectives secured for your infiltrators, incursors, or reaver squads, well, now you can with this particular army of renown. Honestly, it's looking pretty cool, but Space Marines get so much that I really am just more interested in some of the other stuff that comes out in these books. Next, I'd like to move on to the magazine portion of our news, and we're going to talk about Imperium Magazine because it's finally coming to the US, as well as Spain and Germany. Now, Spain and Germany actually have it this week, but the US has to wait until, I believe it's January 26th. Yes, January 26th. Now, this magazine is pretty cool, but I don't personally feel interested in getting it myself. But I do think if you are new to Warhammer, or you're wanting to get somebody into Warhammer, or if you've just never ever collected Space Marines or Necrons in 9th edition, this might be a good way to start doing it, because the magazine is designed to get you and build you up to armies, as well as providing terrain, tools, and paints so that you can actually participate in the hobby. The magazine also has guides and articles helping you through the hobby, teaching you how to build, paint, and probably play the game to a small extent. I've not actually looked thoroughly into what's included in the magazine itself. The reason that I was always interested in it was the fact that you were getting a ton of models, paints, and tools with the subscription. Now, it's a little bit pricey, but you do get multiple magazines a month, and it's coming in at $55.80 a month in the US, or your regional equivalent. It comes with 4 magazines each month, although the first issue does only come with 3, but it is also being sold at a slightly discounted rate. You will be collecting, like I said, Marines or Necrons in this, and honestly, like I said, it's really cool if you've never collected any of those before, or you're brand new to the hobby. I really wish they had options for either other armies to potentially collect. Like maybe when we move into a new edition, they'll do this exact same magazine format again, but it'll be with whatever that box set is. And hopefully it won't contain more Space Marines. And I really doubt it's gonna have more Necrons in it. So maybe it'll be 2 armies that I actually wanna collect, and then I can see exactly how cool or lame this magazine is. If you've gotten a hold of it, because it has been out in the UK for over a year now, let me know what you think of it. I actually, like I said, I think it's pretty cool, but I'm not actually gonna get it myself. The last thing that I want to talk about is a rumor of something arriving in a 2022 White Dwarf issue. We might be getting new faction-specific secondaries for the factions that don't currently have a 9th edition codex and don't have one already announced, because in the leak that has been seen, we aren't actually seeing anything for, say, like the June Stealer cults or the Custodes, the Tau, or the Eldar. So I assume we're not getting any for them, but anybody else who hasn't already gotten a codex might start actually getting some secondaries and White Dwarfs. They're at least getting one in an upcoming one, and that's pretty good because honestly, the other secondaries that are just in the base rulebook are fine, but they're not super great, and it's really limited for the factions that don't have codexes right now, and that's a bit of a shame. So this is a nice change for that, and actually like doing something for the community for once. And it's still in a magazine, you're still having to buy it, but at least it's a cheap magazine. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. I hope you guys are excited as I am about those speed paints, because I'm just really hyped. I can't wait to try them out more and play around with the colors and actually see how they lay out onto a model. I have a really cool one planned for our tutorial this week, and I hope you guys are very excited. Now, before I head out, I do want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for allowing content like this to continue to be made. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much. I have been Angela. You have been watching Hobby Night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.